felt like this was particularly disappointing, this one. It felt like a familiar movie, but this felt a bit sorer because they were really average, Lazio, I thought. Really, really average. In the Champions League, that's probably as easy a group as you'll get, without being disrespectful. Immobile was brilliant when he came on, but up to that point, it was there for Celtic if they could put something together.
Yeah, we'd obviously spent a fair bit of time with the Italian media prior to the game. We'd obviously done our research on how Lazio were getting on, then we were speaking to the guys there. We went to the press conference. There was definitely a feeling amongst the locals that Lazio were under pressure. They weren't playing well. Obviously, Maurizio Sarri's under a bit of pressure. When the game started, I thought, my own perspective, I thought Lazio started pretty well. Mm-hmm. First 10, 15 minutes, they engineered a couple of chances. You thought they didn't look like a struggling team, but then Celtic started to get a little bit of a grip on the game, and then you started to see the signs that there's a lack of confidence in there. I think there was one or two of the Lazio lads that were playing that weren't necessarily first picks either. They looked a wee bit short of confidence. You could feel the crowd starting to get on them towards the end of the first half. Excuse me. Certainly the start of the second half when Celtic did start really well, relatively speaking, and looked dangerous. The crowd were really getting on top of them. And Brendan Rodgers said after the game, going into the last 20 minutes, that he felt Celtic were the team in ascendancy and were the ones that could win it. And that was the feeling I got inside the stadium. I think most of us sitting in the media section felt that if anyone was going to go and win it, it was going to be Celtic. Obviously, with the caveat that we have seen many times in the past, things can go wrong at the drop of a hat for Celtic in the Champions League, and it did again. But at that stage, Celtic looked strong. And it was a game. And listen, it's just one of the ifs and buts, and none of it really matters because you have to be honest and say that Lazio had players missing as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But a club of Lazio's size with the finances can maybe carry it a little bit better than Celtic. There's always that nagging thing, as I say, ifs and buts. If Celtic's first pick team is on the pitch with Hatate, Rio Hatate and Palma and Maeda, you think they might have won that game? If Lazio were the team that played the way they did, Celtic could have gone on and won it. But I suppose that's all irrelevant. It doesn't really matter. Celtic had the personnel that they had and they just couldn't get it done. But it was definitely winnable. There's no doubt about that. It was winnable. Just as the game was against Lazio in Glasgow. It was exactly the same. Celtic could easily have won it and ended up losing it.